You mentioned, the minute Israel started defending itself, people sort of urged caution and talked about the Geneva Conventions. It struck me the reaction when Russia invaded Ukraine was totally different from Joe Biden and the White House. I mean, you could just tell they were jonesing for World War III. They were, throwing money at them and, go in and, kill the Russians, all of that. What's the difference then between Ukraine and Israel?
Well, because Ukraine is deemed to be the underdog. And of course, Palestinians are deemed to be the underdog. Israel is deemed to be the oppressor, despite the fact that this is the nation that has suffered the most in recent history. There are only 9 million people in Israel today. Compare that to the Holocaust of 6 million, and you realize the enormity of this tiny nation surrounded by a sea of people who want to kill them. And on top of that, and I don't want to get into, this would take hours to unpack. You have to understand, Ukraine is the epicenter of corruption for the Democrat Party, whether it's George Soros, whether it's the Open Society Foundation, whether it's the Clinton Global Initiative, whether it's Burisma. Remember, the most corrupt energy company in Eastern Europe hired Vice President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who had no background in energy, no background in Eastern Europe, for a no-show job that paid him $83,000 a month, not a year, $83,000 a month. For what? Hunter Biden is a crack-addled junkie who was kicked out of the Navy because he's a junkie. What were they hiring him for? For recommendations on which Russian prostitute to sleep with? I think Ukrainians have got a lock on that. Ukraine is the epicenter for pay-for-play corruption, and as a result, you send billions over there sloshing around, and you know that a good fair chunk of that change is going to make it back into the DNC, into the Democrat coffers.
Gosh, it is all just mind-blowingly awful. I look at the state of the world and I think, oh, wow, where are we? What evil forces are at work here?